Drama and English for competitive examination. Remember Caesar. It is a one-act play written by Gordon Davitt. It is presented by R. Aravind, Assistant Professor of English, JJ College of Arts and Science, Pudukottai. Now we are going to see about the author introduction, birth and life. She born on 25th July 1896. Josephine Day was a pseudonym used by Elizabeth Mackintosh, a Scottish author best remembered for her mystery novels. She also wrote plays under the name Gordon Davitt. Mackintosh was born in Inverness, the oldest of three daughters of Colin Mackintosh, a fruiterer, and Josephine. Next, she attended Inverness Royal Academy and then in 1914 Anstey Physical Training College in Erdington, a suburb of Birmingham. She taught physical training at various schools in England and Scotland, and during her vacations worked at a convalescent home in Inverness as a voluntary aid detachment nurse. A youthful romance ended with her soldier friend's death in the Somme battles. Next, in 1923, she returned to Inverness permanently to care for her invalid mother and stayed after her mother's death that year to keep house for her father. The curriculum for physical training included much more than athletics. Tay used her school experience in Miss Bim disposes when describing the subjects taught at the school and the types of bruises and other injuries sustained by the pupils. Next, Tay worked in a physiotherapy clinic in Leeds, then taught in schools first in Nottinghamshire, then in Oban, where she was injured. A boom in the gymnasium fell on her face. Tay repurposed this incident as a method of murder in Miss Pym Disposes. Now we are going to see the works written by Davitt. Her first published work was in the Westminster Gazette in 1925 under the name Gordon Davitt. She continued publishing verse and short stories in the Westminster Review, the Glasgow Herald, and the Literary Review. Her first novel, Kif and Unvarnished History, was well received at the time with good reviews, a sale to America, and a mention in the Observer's list of books of the week. Next, her first mystery novel, The Man in the Queue, was published by Ben Methuen. It was awarded the Tutton Mystery Prize when published in America. This is the first appearance of her detective inspector Alan Grant. Mackintosh's real ambition had been to write a play which would receive a run in London's West End. Her play, Richard of Portex, was produced in 1932 at the New Theatre under the Davitt pseudonym. She stated she was inspired by John Gielgud's performance in Hamlet and by the Royal Tournament. Tay had an excellent knowledge of military tactics which she put to good use in several of her books. Two more of her plays were produced at the New Theatre, The Laughing Woman and Queen of Scots. Next, she wrote about a dozen one-act plays and another dozen full-length plays, many with biblical or historical themes under the name of Gordon David. Her only non-fiction book, Clever House, was written as a vindication of John Graham, 1st Viscount Dundee, whom she regarded as a liberal hero. It is strange that a man whose life was so simple in pattern and so forthright in spirit should have become a page for every legend, bloody or brave, that belonged to his time. Next, the Francis affair also has a historical context. Although set in the 1940s, it is based on the 18th century case of Elizabeth Canning. The Daughters of Time was the last of Tay's books published during her lifetime. Her last work, a further crime novel, The Shining Sands, was found in her papers and published posthumously. During her last year, when she knew that she was mortally ill, she resolutely avoided all her friends as well. Her penultimate work, The Privateer, was a romantic novel based on the life of the privateer Henry Morgan. Death. She died of liver cancer at her sister Mary's home in London on 30th February 1952. Most of her friends were unaware that she was even ill, including Kilgate, who was shocked to read news of it in the Times. During a matinee performance of Shakespeare's The Winter's Tale, her death notice in the Times appeared under her Gordon David pseudonym, with no mention of her real name or Josephine Day. Thank you.